Welcome back, guys. Today I've got another Robotech video for you. Robotech lately has been the gift that kind of keeps giving. Out of nowhere, some luck befell us in the little Robotech community we have, and we found the original designer of the game selling off his old inventory of cards that he found in the garage. And so we have recently gotten cards into the hands of many more players. We've uncovered things that we had never seen before. I got to do an interview with the designer himself, as well as the, I guess what we would call like the developer and the designer. That was an awesome video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is on the channel. Really good little interview. But over the course of this process, a lot of people have gotten their hands on decks, which has been awesome. But I also got a hold of a couple of like uncut sheets for the game, which they had originally put together as plans for like a prize support or something like that, or even just to see if the card quality was turning out good and things like that. So I ended up getting a hold of those. They're awesome. One of these days I'll have a video just kind of going over those too. They're big, so it's kind of hard to do on the table just in front of me here, so I haven't put it together yet, but I'll go over it one of these days. But on one of those sheets, the sheet is the beta deck, which has like the original squared corner cards on the different kind of card stock and stuff. And that was sort of sent to stores as like a demo that you could kind of get people interested in the game and get people buying. Or you could kind of order a demo for yourself. It was done at convention. That's what it was for, right? Well, as part of that sheet, looking over it, I was like, oh man, this is cool. This is the demo deck that I know about. But on the sheet, I found two cards that I had never seen before. They were, which was crazy to me. I own every card. I guess most people that have Robotech now own every card. But I, for a long time, owned every card. I thought I was like fully done. But then I found two cards on that sheet that I had never seen. Their names, their text was in yellow. It didn't look like anything else that existed. So I messaged the designer and said, hey, I found this sheet and it looks like there might have been some promo cards. And they're like, I don't have any real memory of promo cards or anything. And so I sent them pictures of the two cards, and their rarity is listed as P for, I would assume, promo, and not C or U or R. So there must have been some plans for two promos. I don't know if they were supposed to be like kind of buy a box promo type things or something they were just supposed to hand out or what. But James, the designer, didn't have any memory of them existing. Eric didn't recall them, and they thought it was just interesting that I found it too. Well, I took that sheet and I scanned it onto my computer, and then I took those two cards, I put them in a nice little template and got them all cleaned up and looking nice. And that leads us to Roy Fokker, Lieutenant, and VF1S Skull Leader. I've had these two cards like officially printed. They now, I guess official as it can get. They, two unreleased promo cards have been released, and it's pretty cool to say that I have. So I wanted to just take a second to kind of talk about the two cards and like where they are, what they relate to within the game, and just see if I can kind of piece some information together. So first off, let's talk about Roy. So Roy Fokker here is a 1-cost pilot. He gives +1 armor, and target Earth unit gets +1 armor as an action. Just a simple 1-cost pilot. You'll notice this is based on the original beta templates where the text boxes were more transparent. On the later releases, these were not like that. They're like a solid brown. So it's just kind of cool to see that. But this card itself just straight up doesn't exist. There's no version of this that you can get anywhere within the game. There is this Roy Fokker that came in the beta deck, who is a 3-cost and gives you +1/+1. and then you can eject him, and the pilot or the unit that he's piloting can't be destroyed for the turn, or one of your units gets +2 armor. Totally different card. This is Lieutenant Commander. This is just Lieutenant, kind of a ranked up version of him. But this is the Roy that you got in that deck, and this also comes in the SDF1 starter deck, but is still just this card. So this Roy doesn't exist anywhere, which is part of the reason I want to do this. The idea of it's very cool that there's like a fully new card to me. That leads me to this card, Rick Hunter Corporal, who does come in the beta deck. He is a 1-cost, target unit gets +1 weapon, and gives a bonus of +1 weapon himself. Come on, Winnie, stop that. If you compare him to Roy, they're kind of the same card, right? Rick is +1 attack, Roy is +1 defense. They're just sort of the same guy. It's kind of like, here's the red one, here's the blue one. And to me, it makes sense that they were doing that kind of thing as the promo for the thing. Like, here's the other side of the coin to Rick, you know, like these are the Flyboy Bros. So like, it makes sense that they would do that. And that's kind of cool. If Roy had existed in the game and was like a real card, I don't know that he would be playable. There is a Blue Squadron pilot who gives similar stats as a 0-cost. There is another 1-cost pilot who does similar things. I don't know that this would have been like a particularly interesting card to have mechanically, but it is cool to see like how it mirrors Rick here. There is one card that will search for Roy, but you wouldn't search for this one, I don't think. And it's only one other pilot that does it. No card cares about like Roy being on the card or anything. It just happens to search for one. So I just don't know if you would have even played it. But the fact that you could have 2 Roys that exist, if you really wanted like a Roy Fokker deck, like this could be relevant. But I don't know that he would have been that playable. It's really cool to see it happen, and it's awesome to see it like made and real. I can put it in the collection or whatever. But I'm not positive I would play it. Well, if we get out of the card I might not play, we can take a look at the VF1S Skull Leader. Now this art, not used anywhere either. So I was like, oh, whoa, this is new. I've never seen this before. But as I was looking over the card more and thinking about it, it is just the VF1S Skull Leader. It is the same card, 332, 423, 241, VF1S Skull Leader. Target 2 units get +2 armor while attacking this turn, and his effect is the same. You can see he did have a little bit of the updated kind of templating for the text box, where like it's a lot easier to read than this one is. Even for a proxy or whatever, you can just tell that that's easier to see. But this is the same card. However, the cost was changed by 1. It was increased by 1 here. Having played with the Earth stuff quite a bit, this card is quite good. As a 4-cost, a 332 is like reasonable stats. Giving 2 units +2 armor while they attack just makes 2 of your guys really hard to kill for the turn, which is also really relevant as an attacker. And then while this card is attacking, your other dudes get +1 armor just by default. So he just kind of protects your whole wave of guys. Blue is like a mid-range deck, so making really strong trades is like the name of the game for playing as Earth, or at least as like RDF. So having extra armor is like huge. So this card is really, really good. And this card as a 3-cost would be even better. So I can see, I think, why they might have like planned for this card, and then maybe in some playtesting found that the cost of 3 was too low and needed to bump the cost up. I think that was a smart choice. This is a really good card. But it's cool to see. I do like this art better of the actual battleoid mode as opposed to the fighter. The fighter's not real centered. It could be shifted up a little bit and look a little better too. But I think this card looks great. But as a 3 cost, I think this card is way overtuned. Even the 4 is like doing more than some other 4 drops do. So it's a good like Lord card for your deck. But this one I think would have been kind of nutty. I'm going to play with it a little bit, just see what happens. But I do think that this would be like unnecessarily good. But that is the unreleased promos. They were fully lost to time. James and Eric didn't even remember that they existed. It just happened to be found on that one uncut sheet that happened to be sitting in his garage all these years later. And there it is. But I was excited to get to put these together. I did post on the Facebook group and on the Discord group these 2 card images in their like prepared versions, so you two could, you know, print them and have them. They've got, you know, backs. I will say that these are, let me pull a card out of here real fast. I will say that just because of like the nature of like the rounding of corners and stuff that they do, it is a slightly different round than the real card uses, which is to me not an issue. It's more like, especially because neither of these cards is like a legal card or whatever. Maybe we could like allow Roy to be a real card if we, I don't know, group decide on it or something. But this card like clearly exists as a errata version basically. So it makes sense that this would be the one that stays legal. So you can't really use this per se, but it's just nice to have in the collection. And I imagine most of us that have a Robotech collection have it like bindered up and nice. I'm definitely going to put these in the collection just to have it like fully complete. But it's just cool to see. It's cool to think about. And the fact that the corners like are slightly different, if you order these, so be it. That doesn't really bother me much. They don't have to be perfect. They're not. I'm not trying to make, you know, counterfeits or anything, right? They're just supposed to look good enough to be in the binder. I made a few copies of this. I'm gonna do some like tournaments and stuff. I might do some over webcam. I definitely am doing a couple of local ones, and I'll probably do these as like a participation prizing kind of thing. Just something that people can get a hold of. If you want to make them yourself, I used Make Playing Cards. It was stupid cheap and pretty fast. If you've used Make Playing Cards before, you know the process. If you haven't, they're pretty great about it. They are a little picky about copyright on stuff sometimes, which is like super fair. But they didn't have any gripes with this one. They allowed me to use the real backs, everything. So 2 unreleased, lost to time bits of Robotech CCG history have been saved, and I just thought it'd be fun to take a second to talk about them. Well, that's it for today. Sorry for taking 15 minutes out of your time to look at 2 cards, but it's pretty exciting for me. This Robotech little rebirth that's happening lately with all this new access to it that people have gotten has been really, really exciting for me as someone who's been working for years to preserve it. It's awesome to see this many more people get a hold of it and start like thinking about playing the game and stuff like that. So expect to see plenty more from me. I will have deck profiles off gameplay. This will definitely be like one of my mainstay games for the channel for some foreseeable future. All right, until next time.